Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? I think when you see the DG, then you know definitely we are not talking about crime, isn't it? We are talking about roads. So I am aware most media houses have highlighted the Awasi fatal traffic accident, but we want to give you an opportunity maybe to, I'll read our statement, though we have already posted it, but equally we'll give you an opportunity to ask questions so that you get clarifications, especially from the DG and even from us, because we may be having burning issues, isn't it? So I start with my statement. Are you ready? It's okay. The National Police Service wishes to inform the public that yesterday on 3rd October 2019 at around 23:00 hours, that is 11 p.m., there was an unfortunate fatal traffic accident at Pala area in Awasi along the Kisumu-Kericho highway. The accident involved a passenger bus, registration number KCF 728G, belonging to Eldoret Express, which had 51 passengers on board. It was driving towards Kericho from Kisumu direction, and a truck KBS 744T and a trailer ZE0256 driving towards Kisumu from Kericho direction. Preliminary reports indicate that on reaching Pala area, the bus driver lost control and drove on the opposite lane, occasioning a head collision with the said truck. 11 passengers and both drivers lost their lives instantly. Passengers who sustained serious injuries were rushed to different hospitals for treatment, but a number of them have now been referred to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hospital in Kisumu. Bodies of the deceased were moved to Ahero Sub-County Hospital mortuary, awaiting post-mortem. We wish to convey our heartfelt condolences to the families and friends of the deceased and wish the injured a quick recovery. We also continue to urge all road users to be extra careful, always observe the highway code and avoid exceeding speed limits, more so at night. Thank you so much. So may we get the questions? Let the questions be brief, be reasonable, to either what affects the DG and what maybe you think affects the police. Yes. Yes, madam. Morning.
I just want to understand who was on the road here. Is it
Definitely, the number of people we are losing on our roads is unacceptably high. This is a problem that requires a lot of intervention from all stakeholders, and we must all play our rightful role in doing so. One of the biggest challenges we are having, in my opinion, is that if you look at the accidents and the data that we have, the largest contributor to this is human behavior, specifically the driver. The decision that the driver takes is very critical. And in some of the interventions that we have put in place, we are now zeroing in on the drivers. And in a meeting actually held on 25th of last month, chaired by the Cabinet Secretary Interior, where we had all the county commanders in place, we zeroed in and said that the best way to deal with this thing is to deal with the drivers. And a process, an elaborate process as per the law, is being put in place to ensure that driving licenses for those people who are putting the public at risk are withdrawn early enough. And that is going on. However, just a few things to also to add on to that. If you look at the PSV industry in general, there's been about 2 or 3 years ago, they were the second contributor to fatalities. After private motorists, it was PSV, then commercial vehicles, then boda boda. We have seen a shift. PSV now have moved to position 4, thanks to some of the interventions on the PSV regulations that we've been implementing. Private motorists currently are leading, followed by heavy commercial vehicles, boda boda, then followed by PSV. We are indeed very worried, especially with the boda boda, because up to yesterday, the 1st of this month, there's been an increase of about 30% in fatalities. So I think that's an area that we really must put our efforts to enforce the law, because there is total disregard to the law in that sector.
Yes. The course and the DG will explain what he has put in place, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. So preliminarily, from the eyewitnesses or the people who are in the bus who have not got seriously injured, claim that the oncoming truck was on very high speed, and it did not dim the light, so the driver seemed to have been blinded, lost control, and got involved in and ended up getting a head-on collision. But this is subject to this is just a preliminary report from a bystander. These are subject to further investigations to establish exactly what could have happened. Remember, it's just after Awasi towards Kericho. There's a steep depression and then a straight line. So we will be able to tell exactly what could have happened. Did she?
Yeah, thank you very much, because that is a railway issue. But it will be ideal if it is possible. We will be very happy if majority of the cargo that is transiting through our country can be used through rail. But as we know, the meter gauge railway that traverses the part of that country has been having issues, and it has not been doing very well in terms of ferrying the cargo along the corridor. But I think I'm not the best placed person to comment on that. However, as in ourselves, we will really wish if that can be the case, so that we limit the number of trucks that are operating on our roads.
I think you are satisfied. Usikizi. Sijui kama unafikiria mambo zingine, kwa sababu hata ile swali umeuliza DG ya pikipiki ni kama hukuwa unasikiza DG vizuri, kwa sababu DG hajasema hajali imetokea kwa sababu ya boda boda. DG amesema kwamba kulingana na ile ratings, saa hii private motor vehicle ndio inafanya ajali zaidi, inafuatwa na heavy commercial na boda boda, na PSV inakuwa namba 4. Kwa mbeleni ilikuwa PSV ni namba 2 kulingana na vile nimesikiza. Na pia amesema kwamba ajali ya boda boda imeongezeka kwa 30%. Na mimi nilisema kwamba wale yenye wamefariki ni passengers 11 na madriver 2, na hiyo inakuwa 13. Wengine hesabu ilikuwa shida kidogo.
Kuna swali umeuliza jinsi muundo ya hii gari. Lakini wacha kwanza nieleze kwa Kiingereza. The bus body construction. In 2017, specifically on 22nd of July 2017, a new standard for bus body construction took effect. The way the construction of the bus is done. Any new bus that is coming into the country or is being constructed in the country is conforming to that standard called KS 372. This is a result of what we have observed in previous accidents, such as in Tulele, Fort Tanan, those kind of accidents where the canopy of the bus upon crashing is completely destroyed. In the new standard, there is what we call anti-rolling bus. Continuous bus without having a breakage or without being welded in between. That strengthens the body of the bus, so that in the event of an impact, the severity of injuries and the damage is lessened. However, there are those buses which were constructed or which were in the market even before this standard came into effect. One of them being such the bus, one of the buses that was involved in this crash. So it will take a while, and we are trying to see what is the best way to fast track those already who are already in the market to make sure that they conform to the new standard. We believe the new standard will go a long way in addressing some of these concerns. On the issue of speed limiter, it's still too early to tell whether the truck or the bus were speeding. This morning we have sent our inspectors to go to the accident scene, and we'll be able to give a proper information once that has been confirmed.
Yes.
I think the truth of the matter is we have also to be realistic, because if you look at the position of Kenya, we are in a very critical position, not just even for Kenya alone, but even for the neighboring countries. The northern corridor that traverses from Mombasa to Malaba through Kisumu, another branch through Kisumu, is very critical, not just for Kenya, but to the entire East Africa region. So we cannot, it may not be practical to say that we restrict night travel, because then it will be affecting the entire region. So I think it is to stringent the conditions that the operators should fulfill to travel at night. So there is no ban for night travel, especially for commercial vehicles. For PSVs, the conditions are stringent on the requirements for you to do night travel.